Yeah. अरिहंत सिद्ध सुर उपाध्याय साधु सर्वा अर्थ के प्रकाशी मांगलिक उपकारी है। तीन को स्वरूप जानी रागते भई जो भक्ति काय को नमाय स्तुति को उच्चारी है। धन्य धन्य तुम्ही से काज सब आज भयो कर जोरी बारंबार वंदना हमारी है। मंगल कल्याण सुख ऐसो हम चाहत है। हो मेरी ऐसी दशा जैसी तुम धारी है। हो मेरी ऐसी दशा जैसी तुम धारी है। Welcome to the third lecture. Thank you, Urja, for providing so much of support. And one thing I want to share is that uh, the textbooks are being translated into English. And for the first 2 years, we have everything in English. But from third year onwards, the translations are going on. So by the time we reach third year, those will be ready. This is about the textbook. But some of the other references that we give, uh, those may not be available in English immediately. So that is also on the planning, but it may take some time. So our first priority is the textbook that we have in syllabus. So the textbook and the lecture will be enough for you to understand these concepts. And reference books I have just given for those who know also Hindi, because in Hindi, everything is available. And this English branch is something new that we have started, and we felt that there is a need for English also, just because nowadays people get connect to English better than Hindi. Mostly the youngsters who are doing some professional courses or whatever maybe. And in schools also, if you see now, there is a craze for convent educated. It was a craze in my time also, but now this has taken up more, with people more focused on the career and the package and all. So this has put in uh, enough importance to the language of English. And so we thought also, let's start a English batch. So this is, I think, the third batch. There is already uh, two batches ahead of us, and they are also managing some of the books. Uh, but I'm now practicing that I can read Hindi and translate into English immediately. And I think I will fairly manage it that way also. But in case we get the books ready, there is nothing like it. So this was one thing about the language. The important thing is to understand these concepts, So the right belief, or the Samyak Darshan, which is the starting point of the path of liberation, okay? That right belief can be achieved in any of the realm of existence, any of the state of existence, like, animals. So there are some animals who have minds, like dog. So, the crime branch also uses the service of dog for detecting some of the uh, uh, solving some of the crime problems. So why? Because they have a special quality of, uh, smelling the particular thing and then matching it with somebody else and all, something like that. So these dogs are also being trained, and so he can detect all these things just because he has got a mind. So so the Samyak Darshan, or the right belief, can be achieved in all the four states of existence. Even in hell, uh, there are narki jeeves, hellish beings. So there is so much of misery there that we cannot explain it in words. But still, in spite of so much of miseries, in between, they can achieve right belief. Okay. The animals also can achieve right belief, as we have seen it in some of our stories of Pratman Yoga, that the animals also can achieve Samyak Darshan. Dev can also achieve Samyak Darshan, and human, of course, can achieve Samyak Darshan. But there is something else with the human that makes it very special, and that is the understanding that we have, So the language can be a barrier, but the experience that knows no language. So animal may not understand the words, but from his previous birth, whatever he had learned, he can experience the soul. Okay, he can attain right belief. So if the hellish being or animal can achieve right belief, then we as a human, why we cannot? So people are now going to Russia to pursue medical degrees, and when they go there, they are asked to, learn Russian first. Why? Because they will be interacting with Russian people only, and they have this medium as a Russian medium. So they teach everything in Russian, and even in the hospitals and the training that they undergo, everywhere it is Russian. So they don't mind giving you the admission, but their condition is that first you have to learn Russian. So we have initially these scriptures were written in Prakrit language. I'm talking about 2000 years ago. Okay. Then subsequently, after 1,000 years, Sanskrit was the language that was used here in India. And then subsequently, after another 500-600 years, there was this Hindi Khadi Boli, old Hindi, and of course now we have new Hindi. Then there are other languages also, Gujarati and Tamil and Kannada and so many other languages. We have around 25 languages in India. So the language can be a barrier, but the experience that is everywhere the same. Okay. So we do have some challenges in terms of terminology. Okay. So from Sanskrit, from Prakrit to Sanskrit, then Sanskrit to Hindi, old Hindi and new Hindi. So this way the language has evolved. But I'll tell you, in English, it is very straightforward and simple. Initially, you may feel it a bit difficult to catch up, but over a period of time, maybe 1 or 2 months down the line, things will become more easy. And you will find, of course, those who know Hindi and English both, they can always read Hindi also, and compare it with the English language. So they will also feel that more or less the English language connects to the facts, connects to the facts that we need to understand. So there is a challenge, but that's not a problem. So this was something about the language. But in between, if you are not understanding any concept, you can always ask. Yeah, Anshil and Roshni, you can ask.
Rajeshji, when a soul is Samyak Drashti, and do they get Samyak Drashti when they're in Manushya form, and then they go to Tiryansh, they continue having that Samyak Drashti? Or
No,
is
no,
it
no.
that the soul gets to Tiryanj and achieves Samyak Drashti there?
So, generally speaking, there is no way that you carry your Samyak Darshan, But when you take up birth in some other form, even in hellish being or in an animal kingdom, whatever it may be. But there again, you achieve Samyak Darshan again. Okay. So this is the sanskar that you carry from here. Okay. And then in that birth again, you can achieve again the right belief, because the soul is same, So once he has attained the right belief, so in between he may lose out also. Even in a human form also, a person who has attained right belief, he may also come back to delusion. So these things keep on happening because soul is there since time immortal. Okay. And the whole language, whole studies, if you consider, maybe not only in this birth, but we had done something in previous birth also. So again, we are connecting to the same thing here also. Maybe somebody may have taken some years to connect this kind of studies, if I talk of myself, at the age of 30, I knew nothing about this Tattva Gyan. Nothing at all. But then subsequently, I got connections and kept on getting new connections and the scripts and the books and the shivirs and everything, and that's how I got connected. So like, it said that when the right time comes, everything falls in places and you can have access to this kind of knowledge. So our main focus will be to upgrade our knowledge. Okay. Because of delusion, there are some wrong beliefs in all of us. Okay. Now, to convert that wrong belief into a right belief, you need to understand few concepts, some of the facts, and of course, you need to practice also. Knowing the facts is not enough, but you need to practice also. You need to spare time after this scriptural knowledge, and more important is the contemplation. After reading, we don't stop, we contemplate. And that contemplation leads to decision making. Okay. And that decision making reflects in our every sphere of life. It is not only that when we sit for these religious studies, our decision making works. It is working 24 hours down the whole time, So whatever the choices that you make in your life, at every point of life in our practical life, we do have dilemmas, we do have choices, Now, depending on what kind of goals you have in your life, you align with such kind of choices. And it is these choices, that takes you to the right direction. So if you have done a correct choice, if you have done a correct analysis, and if you have chosen a correct path, then it takes you to the right direction. But if you happen to do wrong analysis, if you happen to choose wrong path, then again you are only responsible. So whatever information we get, we should understand it very properly. And once we understand it properly, then the contemplation automatically follows. And when the contemplation is there, it is very easy to make a decision. So what works in the path of liberation? What works for you to be happy? The decision making power, A person can be sad in the same situation, and a person can be happy in the same situation. Now suppose you have you are attending a class now, and somebody comes and knocks, some relatives of yours comes and knocks on your door right now. So you have to just get up and open the door. And if it's a close relative or a distant relative, if it is very close, you can always say that I'm having a class now, you also attend. But if it is in middle, you cannot say him like this. So what you will do? So, अरे यार इसको अब भी आना था, है ना? You can feel sad, दुखी हो सकता है. And the other scenario is that, oh, welcome, good that you have come, but I have a live class now going on. So let me finish this, then we can talk, So you can also attend, or you can watch TV, or you can see newspapers or some other books, whatever you feel like. So just a simple conversation. Now, if he is in a hurry, if he or she is in a hurry, she will go away. And if she has time, and she might get interested in your class also, so he or she may listen also. And it may happen that he also gets connected to this kind of studies. So it is all there, depends on his circumstances, depend on our circumstances, depends on our karmas, depends on his karma. So there are a lot of things, factors working on that particular action. Okay. So now, some information can make you sad, as I said, ki isko ab bhi aana tha. If you think on that lines, then you will be feeling sad. You will be losing out on opportunity. Okay. But in the same situation, you can tactfully do what I said, and it will not, she or he will not also feel hurt, and you will not also lose out on your class. So this is how you manage things. So the situations will not change, our karma ka uday, okay, that will throw different kind of challenges in our life. Now we need to find a way to come out of it. That's all. And when we study these scriptures, this is originally, the source is from the Tirthankar. Okay. These sermons have come in the divine sound, Divya Dhvani of Tirthankar. So from those Tirthankar, that Divya Dhvani, the Gandhar was able to understand and decimate. And then these Gandhars pass on to the Acharyas. These Acharyas pass on to further Acharyas, and this is how the knowledge has come to us. And in between, there were no takers. So the Acharyas thought of writing it. And that's how the scriptural started. After the liberation of Mahavir Swami, exactly 683 years, it was only mouth-to-mouth publicity. The knowledge was passing through mouth to mouth, and then subsequently there were no takers. So exactly 683 years after liberation of Mahavir Swami, the book started, the Acharyas started writing these books. And Shat Khandagam was the first book written in Indian philosophy, Jainism philosophy. Okay. And then subsequently, the other books were written. So the Acharyas were no more there. So it was passing on through these Jinvani books, scriptural books. And today also what we are understanding is through these scriptural books. So the source is the same, and these words have magic in them. These words, these words immediately catch your attention, and it dilutes the delusion, and if the delusion gets diluted, your wrong belief, okay, the wrong belief gets milder, and a time comes when you completely your wrong belief is completely wiped out and you attend right belief. Okay. Now I'll give you an example, very simple example, that now who am I? So the earlier belief, the belief, that I thought I am a body. I never thought that there is a soul. There is an entity called soul. And I thought that my body is myself the body. And this eyes, ears, nose, and all are my parts of my body. Not my body, but I am the body. Okay. So there was no knowledge of soul to me. So my life was going on. Okay. I may not be knowing that I am a soul, but the life of the soul was going on, and my connection with body, that I am the body was also going on. So this is what delusion does. It doesn't want you to make a correct decision. That is the role of delusion. The delusion will always stop you from taking the right decision. Are you understanding, Jia? Okay. And Mr. May, can you put on your video? I'll introduce Mr. May is from Taiwan. He is a Chinese person, I suppose.
Oh, hi, how are you?
Yeah, fine. So,
I'm trying to see how do I appear.
Yeah.
How do I do that?
You just have to put on the videos on. There is a sign of.
But I do not see anything.
Just on the left side,
left.
on the bottom left.
That's my name.
Then there is a mute and sound, audio sounds, and then there is a video.
Yeah, I am mute already, but for some reason, I cannot show up my face.
Okay, no problem. Anyways, so she's also understanding. So I thought you, May is always a male guy, but
Yes.
I never knew. So I'm listening to you the first time. So for you, this will be more challenging, but I would suggest.
Oh, okay. I saw there's a video. Down below. It's down below.
Yeah.
Oh,
so this is a practical example between ignorance.
Hello. Thank you so much for letting me know about this class. I didn't know. There's a new class, so I'm very happy.
Yeah. So you have come to the right place, and there are some students who are absolutely new in this class also. So you will also learn along with them, and I will try to make it very simple. But initially, you just listen to what I am saying, and then maybe you can have your questions at the end of the session, and in between also you can ask. I don't mind, but if it is very disturbing, then I would say you ask at the end of the class. It may happen that whatever you want to ask, the answer will be forthcoming in next few minutes, something like that, So, but I'll make sure that I make it very simple. So, so far we have done 2 chapters from Bal Bodh Part 1. So this is the basic book that we teach to the kids, the kids who come to the temples in the Pathshala. Pathshala is again a kind of education hub, that we have for children, especially for the children. And there we teach them this book. So maybe a 6-7-year-old would start reading this Bal Bodh 1. The teacher teaches him Bal Bodh 1. So it is that simple, So we have done 2 chapters. Now I have shared the English PDF. You can just download it from there, from the group.
Yeah, I did already. Yes.
Yeah. That's fine. So we were doing Part 1, Bal Bodh. Two chapters were completed last week, and I'll be sharing that recording also, so you can catch up on that recording. Okay. And today's class also will be shared by recording. So whatever you have missed, you can catch up on recording again. So we'll come to the third chapter, straight way,
Rajeshji.
Yeah.
Sorry, one question since you are introducing. With me is Rita Shah.
Okay.
અમે બે Dallas થી join કરે છે.
So last time you had joined only, right?
No.
આજે પેલો ક્લાસ છે મારો.
એટલે તમારો પહેલો ક્લાસ છે, એને લાસ્ટ વીક પણ હતા.
Yes.
So she is Rita.
હું રીટા છું.
તમે એમના મમ્મી છો?
ના,
Friend.
અચ્છા, friends છે. Okay, good. Yeah, it's always good to join friends and family, so you
Yeah.
can later on interact and you can discuss, and it's a very healthy way of studying, so if we are alone, we sometimes feel bored, but if somebody else is there to connect, we do it easily. So that is there everywhere. Urjaji, you have joined from two places, or you are two different, you and your husband?
No. So I've joined from two places. I think Leena ma'am is not there today. So I'll just share my screen.
Okay, I'll make you co-host. Sorry, I read your message, but in between something else came up to my mind. I forgot. 1 minute. Okay. Yeah. Today our leader Leena is not. She's traveling. So we have two team leaders, Urja and Leena. So.
Sir, I have a question.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, sir, then it is said that we do karma, and we bound that. So, do we get the results in the same lifespan, Ayu, or in a different life?
So there are different types of karmas that we bound due to the difference in the intensity of the passions. Okay. Now, there are some karmas that comes into this life only. There are some karmas which will just come into fruition after 48 minutes. Some of the karmas that we bound now may come into fruition after 48 minutes. Some may come during this lifetime, anytime. And some of the karmas may come in the next birth. Some of the karmas can come after 50,000 years. So whatever you are experiencing right now, it is all the backlog that we have been, that we have already accumulated over a period of, say, last 50,000 years or something like that, So different kinds of karmas, different types of durations, and different kinds of fruition. Okay. So in between, the karmas keep on changing also. So by doing auspicious activities, the inauspicious karmas gets reduced. The auspicious karma gets increased. And then there is a way your inauspicious karmas can get converted to auspicious also, if you are doing good things in life. Now, if you are doing violence, if you are watching TV, then your punya karma or the auspicious karma may get changed to inauspicious. So it is both ways. So whatever you do presently is the basis of your binding of new karmas. And whatever you are getting right now is the fruition of previous karmas that you have bound. So this continuous cycle goes on. Okay. And this has been going on since time immortal. Now, we have access to the studies. And these studies shows us a way where we can get liberated from this all types of karmas. There is a way. And this is what the Tirthankars had done. Our Tirthankars, they themselves got liberated And when they became an Aryan, through their divine sound, Divya Dhvani, they also motivated others to get into this religion. And in the holy assembly, the Samocharan, many people come and they attend Samyak Darshan. Many people come and they attend liberation then and there itself. So the divine sound of the Tirthankar is very powerful, and it spreads the atmosphere up to a very vast area, all becomes very conducive for people to understand this religion. So that is the biggest, we can say, medium of spreading of Jainism, the Tirthankars. Okay, that's why they are called Tirthankar, because they are instrumental in development, spiritual development of many individuals. Okay, so now the Tirthankar is not there right now. Okay, so what we have is this scriptures, and through the scriptures, as you buy a mobile phone from a market and you may not know the functions. So there is a booklet coming up with that mobile, and when you open the booklet and you study the points, which switch is for what, and then you start operating the mobile. Yeah, this is the way we do with everything. Even if you bring some other electric appliances like TV, again there is a booklet. So you know how to operate the remote and how to do the connections and how to change the channels and how to increase the sound, decrease the sound, everything, it's there in the booklet. So you understand from the booklet and you start operating it. Similarly, our soul has the potential to become God. Our soul has the potential to manifest complete knowledge. We have complete knowledge, as an attribute, we have this attribute of knowledge, which is complete in itself. But to manifest that, we need to undergo this process of understanding. So what will happen, the ignorance and the delusions that is there since time immortal will slowly get wiped out. Okay, since it is there since time immortal, it will take a while, to wipe out that wrong belief, delusion, ignorance. Okay, so you have to stay connected to this kind of studies for a while, and then you will realize that every day you are improving, gradually improving, and your delusion is going away step by step, step by step. I'll give you one example. If you are cutting a big rope, big rope, then if it is a very small rope, you can just cut it at one stroke. But if it's a very big rope, then what you can do? You have to just take that powerful tool to cut, that blade or something like that, a big blade, then you just take it forth and back, forth and back, forth and back. And this way, all the small threads gets cut, So it will take a while to do 2 pieces of that big thick rope. And that is the time that we will also take to get this delusion away. So every time you start studying, every time you contemplate, every time you listen, the delusion gets reduced. Okay, your passions from intense passion, it gets reduced to mild passions. Okay, so when you are reading scriptures, okay, so your passions are mild, and just because your passions are mild, you are able to make out what is being said. Now, if your passion become intense, now suddenly there is a message on the mobile, that there is an accident of your car, supposing. Okay. Now you will read this message. the worries will start. Why the worries will start, just because you feel that car belongs to you. You are the owner of that car. So the chief cause of your anxiety is not the car, but the ownership that you are having. There are lakhs of cars on the road, okay, and there are accidents happening every now and then, but you are not getting worried. Why? Why you are not getting worried? Yeah, Urja, tell me why you are not getting worried.
Oh, because there's no I.
Yes.
It's not my car.
Yes, very good. Very good. So now you have catch the right part of the answer, It does not belong to you. Okay. So
Yeah.
so this is mine car or this is not my car. This is directly connected to our belief system. Okay. So when we study the scriptures, the belief system gets transformed, You get the facts right. Now I was believing that this body is mine. But I know now that this body remains here and the soul goes away. If there is a death in our family, what happens? That body still remains there, but the soul has gone. And then we, of course, cremate, do that process of cremation to that body, But the main importance is of the soul. Still there is eyes, still there is nose, everything, the body is everything same. Nobody would say that this person has died. Somebody will think that, oh, he's sleeping. But actually he's died. The soul has gone away. Now there is no value to that body. So our true identity is that we are soul. But now to know ourselves, since it's not something object like matter that you can see from your eyes. So you cannot see the soul. Okay. The soul has only knowledge. Okay. So you have only knowledge with yourself. Now everything else, the wrong belief and all, are just because of our ignorance. Okay. Now if we truly identify who am I and what is my function. So if I am a knower, okay, if I am a soul, if I am only a knower, then how this body belongs to me? How that car belongs to me? So this was all false beliefs. These were all false beliefs. Okay. So now your belief is correct that the body is not yours. You are the soul. The car is also not yours. You are the soul only. So in this way, you have to keep on discriminating knowledge. You have to keep on practicing discriminative knowledge. So there will be two things, okay, always. And these two things are different. Just like our body and our soul are two different entities. One is a matter entity, matter substance, and one is a soul substance. Okay. They don't have any correlations. It is just that they are at the same place. But still, if you believe that you are the body, then what the soul can do? So by studying the scriptures, we are going to change our belief system, and whatever the misconceptions that we had, okay, that will automatically and gradually, depending on the kind of efforts that you put in, it will keep on changing. Okay. And then when the delusion is completely wiped out, you will attain the right belief or the Samyak Darshan. And that is the beginning of the journey of the path of liberation. So once you are into the path of liberation, it will take hardly another 4 or 5 births, to get liberated. By this meantime, you are not binding new karmas. The old karmas are getting dissociated gradually, with the manifestations, with your manifestations, pure manifestations, okay? Because you are now connecting to yourself and you are manifesting passionlessness. So there are no passions, there is no attachments, there is no aversions, okay? That is manifesting. So you are manifesting passionlessness. So gradually the karmas get dissociated, and one time will come, all the karmas, you will be relieved of all the karmas, and that is the time you will get liberated. Okay. So as a soul, our goal is to get liberated. Now, since earlier I was believing that I am a body, and I thought that all these 5 sensory objects will bring happiness to me, and that's why I was after money. I was spending most of my time to acquire this kind of objects, just because I thought that I will be happy with that. But that object does not have my quality of happiness. So the quality is not there. So how can I experience happiness from them, from those objects, from those sensory objects? Okay. So because of delusion, this belief was there, and as we further progress into the studies, this delusion will gradually, not at one time, it will gradually keep on decreasing, and your right belief, there are many kinds of wrong beliefs that we have. So all those wrong beliefs will turn into right gradually. Okay. And then there will be a time when this delusion completely gets off. So those karmas have come into fruition, has gone off, or it may happen that because of your auspicious karmas, those also gets affected. So somehow your delusion got reduced, and it has either subsided or it has completely gone away. In both the cases, you attain the right belief. Okay. So belief is again a conclusion from a series of experiments, Now I'll give you a very simple example how the right belief creeps in, So you wanted to have, I would say, a fruit juice, okay? So your neighbor recommended you go to that place. That hotel gives very good quality juice. So you were going there. In between, some other friend came, met you in the road, and he said that, oh, don't go there. Go to this place, This is very near, and this gives a very good quality of juices. So you listen to that other friend, and you went there and you bought that juice, and you brought it home and you tasted it, and the taste was not good, So you said, anyway, now I cannot go. I'm short of time, So anyways, you went for your work. Now next day again, you were going to that place, to fetch the juice. Again, the same friend met you in the road, or some other friend met you in the road, and he also suggests that same shop. Then you will say that, no, I bought that juice from that shop yesterday, and it was not good. The taste was not good. So then your friend might say that this must be a one-off occasions, but usually I've been purchasing daily, regularly, and it's a very good quality. He uses all the good qualities of fruits, something, blah, blah, blah. So now you are again convinced, and again you go and buy from there, same shop. And again you bring in and the same experience, the test is not good. Now tell me, the third day, you will go there? Will not go there. Why? Just your two experiences, not only one experience, but two experience. So this much time it took you to take a decision that I will not buy goods or juices from this particular hotel. Okay. So those experience, those experience created a faith in you that this shop is not giving me good quality of juice. So this is the time lag, that you have to take up, that you have to, that will take time, to have the correct delusion. But the process has begun, and it will slowly creep in, the belief system. The belief system will keep on changing, you will have the right kind of information, and you will analyze those information, and you will contemplate on those information, and then you arrive at a decision. So this is how the story will go, So you have to spend some time with these concepts. So maybe 2-3 months down the line, you will feel comfortable, and you will also be realizing that this is what I wanted in the first place, and this is the correct path of liberation, So all these decisions will come from you only, but it will take some time. Now, how much time it will take, as I said, it is different from different people. So Ria may take 1 week to take that decision, to arrive at the decision. And maybe Urja can take few months, and somebody else may take a year also. So it is different from different people. But at least, you will, that inner gut feeling that this is the right path. Now that will keep you to attending these classes, and you will get new information in every class. And as I said, this particular book, Balbodh Part 1, is our Balbodh Part 1, Part 2, and Part 3 are all for the kids, 6, 7, 8-year-old kids. So these are quite simple things, but later on, some tougher things will also come, but by the time you will be ready to understand those. So I think now the roadmap is clear, Ria. Sorry, Jia, not Ria. So Jia, you are able to understand? Now tell me what will be the summary or the takeaways that we discussed just now. It is almost 50 minutes, okay? So you can summarize what you understood from this 50 minutes.
Yeah. So we spoke about Samyak Darshan at the start and how it can be achieved in hell too, and in other places too. And then we also talked about how animals can also achieve Samyak Darshan if they have
Yes.
belief. Yeah.
Okay.
And then we talked about our scriptures, how they were written in Prakrit and then how they were translated to Sanskrit. And then how, like how then they were translated to Khadi Boli Hindi, and now we have it in modern Hindi.
Oh, very good. You remember everything. Good.
I made
Next.
notes, so I'm
Yeah.
reading.
Yeah. Then.
So then we also talked about how Tirthankars Ji's Divya Dvani is understood by Gandhas, and then it's passed on to Acharyas.
Oh,
Then
very good.
Acharyas make these scriptures. Yeah, and then we spoke about Shatkhandagam and how that's the first book in Jain philosophy. Yeah. And then we talked about delusion and how that makes it hard for us to make the correct decision.
Oh, very good.
Yeah, it confuses us. Yeah. And yeah, and how the divine sound of Tirthankars is the most powerful, how we should listen to that to attain Samyak Darshan. Yeah.
Very good. Very good. Excellent. So you can see the grasping power of the younger ones are so good, you know. So they are not able to, they are not only understanding it correctly, but at the same time, they are retaining it also. So that's a very good thing. I would also like May. He has left or what? May Chao.
Yes.
Yeah. You also share what you understood so far.
Oh, you want me to also share?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, okay. Yeah, I will make it very simple. But I want to compliment it on Gia also. She has the
Right.
memory is so good. It's just like a mirror. Just repeat whatever the teacher says. So wonderful, wonderful. Yeah. For me, the bottom line is based on the teacher's words, the key thing is to upgrade our knowledge.
Oh, very good.
To achieve Samyak Darshan. And Samyak Darshan, the right belief, is the first path, first stop toward liberation, toward moksha. And the way to do that is we read the scripture, the words of Tirthankar, and then we contemplate and we make the decision. We make the choices. Okay? But this process takes time. So we need to be prepared that this is not something we can achieve right away. So it's just like cutting a big rope. We need to be doing it back and forth, back and forth. Eventually, we will get there. And the chief cause, oh, okay. I really like this example of the car. Oh, okay. Your cars get smashed and the stop got stolen because it happened to me twice before. So I know how you feel. Then you feel so sad, so angry, so anxious. But that anxiety is not from the car because the car break-in happens all the time. Well, you don't feel anything, but this time your car got broken in and you felt so bad. It's because it's my car. So the ownership, the feeling of ownership is the real cause of all the suffering. So this is my body, and whatever happened to my body, I feel so bad. But if I realize this is not really my body, just like the car, so I can connect with this example. So I would definitely contemplate again and again.
Very good, very good. So nice of you. You have done a very good analysis. And so we have seen the experiences of the most youngest one, Ria, and the most oldest one, May Chao, you know. So both of them can connect to this, what I have been saying just now. So I think everyone else, Gia and both have done a very good summary. Similarly, I would ask some of the other students also, not now, but some other time. So you keep on listening and also make notes of something good that you feel. And if you have any questions, you are always supposed to ask me, okay? So I will now invite Mr. Parth to read this chapter of Tirthankar Bhagwan that has been shared on your screen. Can you just enlarge it? You know,
Sir, I am not able to enlarge it.
no, not you.
Yeah.
Urja will enlarge it because she is the co-host. The whole screen you can have it full screen, I suppose. Or I will make you a co-host, Parth.
Yes, sir.
Think we can do, or it is only in my screen that is showing.
No, sir, I am co-host, sir.
Okay.
Sir,
Yeah.
now it's gone to lesson 2.
So now we'll go to lesson 3. Yeah. Lesson 3. This is 4th. Okay. Yeah, this one.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. You just read the whole chapter. Okay. Then I will
Yes.
explain. Yeah.
Lesson 3, Tirthankar Bhagwan. Student, sir, is Bahubali not a god? Teacher, why not? Student, but he occupies no place in the list of the 24 Tirthankars. Teacher, 24 are the Tirthankars. All those who are omniscients are free from the attachments are the gods. Student, are the Tirthankars not gods? Teacher, the Tirthankars are indeed gods, but even those who are not Tirthankars but are unattached and omniscient, that is, the Aryans and the Siddhas, are also gods. Student, who is a Tirthankar? Teacher, one who preaches the right path to liberation is surrounded by the magnificence. By the magnificence of Samavsaran and other glories in whom Tirthankar Namakarma has come to fruition, is called a Tirthankar. These are 24 in number. Student, kindly let us know their names. Teacher, 1. Rishabdev or Adinath, 2. Ajitnath, 3. Sambhavnath, 4. Abhinandan, 5. Sumatinath, 6. Padmaprabha, 7. Suparsh Amanant, 8. Chandan Prabha, 9. Pushpadanta Suvidinath, 10. Sheetalnath, 11. Shreyasnath, 12. Vasupujya, 13th Vimalnath, 14th Anantnath, 15th Dharmanath, 16th Shantinath, 17th Kuntunath, 18th Arhamnath, 19th Mallinath, 20 Munisuvrat, 21 Naminath, 22 Neminath, 23 Parshvanath, 24 Mahavir, Vardhaman, Veer, Ativir, Sanmati. Student, sir, it is difficult to remember these names. Teacher, no, it is not. I recite a poem which you should learn by heart. Then it will be easy for you to remember these names. Rishabh, Ajit, Sambhav, Abhinandan, Sumati, Padam, Suparvas, Jinre, Chandra, Pushpa, Sheetal, Shreyans, Jin, Vasupujya, Pujit, Sure. Vimal, Anant, Dharmajas, Ujjwal, Shanti, Kuntu, Aramalli, Manne. Muni, Suvrata, Nami, Nemi, Parshva, Prabhu, Vardhan, Pad, Pushpa, Chadhai. Student, what is the good of knowing these? Teacher, we can ourselves attain godhood by understanding their teachings and practicing them.
Thank you, Parth. That was a good reading.
Thank
So
you, sir.
the main takeaways of this chapter is they want to make us understand that all Tirthankars are Bhagwan, but all Bhagwans are not Tirthankar. Okay. So the main part of this whole chapter is the difference. You should know the difference between a Tirthankar and an ordinary god, ordinary Kevli Bhagwan. So there is a Tirthankar Kevli, the one who has attained omniscience knowledge. Okay, so that person can be a Tirthankar also, and that can be also an ordinary omniscience, monk. So this is the difference that we are going to understand. And before that, if you see the chart of the Tirthankar, name of the 24 names are given of the Tirthankars that were here in this place of Bharat Kshetra, and we are also into that place now. So the 24 names are, the first one was Rishabdev or Adinath, okay, and the last was Mahavir. After that, there had been no Tirthankar, only 24s are always there, okay. So this was the fourth era. Now we are into the fifth era. So there are no Tirthankars now, but the Mahavir was the last Tirthankar, okay. Now, we can say that we are today living in the era of Mahavir Swami, because the last Tirthankar is always countable, So the last Tirthankar was Mahavir Swami. So we are into the, still we are into the era of Mahavir Swami. So out of these 24, you can see that 3 have one or more names. Like the first one, Rishabdev is also called Adinath Bhagwan. Pushpadanta is also called Suvidinath. And the last one, Mahavir, had got 4 other names: Vardhaman, Veer, Ativir, and Sanmati. Now, what makes Tirthankar a special? So there are 3 conditions. It's written in the textbook. One, who reaches the right path to liberation. So why Tirthankars? Why we respect Tirthankars? Why we, pray of Tirthankars is just because he is the one who preaches us the right path to liberation. If the Tirthankar would not have given us this knowledge, then we would never have got liberated. I think in India only, in one of the states now, there are some people who have got trapped in the mines, and they are still living. The foods are being supplied to them, but there is no way that they can come out of that because of some land coming in between, because of some rocks coming in between. They are trapped, So there are process being like there is a round the clock process going on, how to evacuate them, how to bring them out of that mines. So similarly, Tirthankar takes us out from this ocean of transmigration. This soul, because of delusion, because of ignorance, has been wandering from one state of existence to the other state of existence. Now we are into human birth right now, okay? But before the birth, or in this human birth, we were there in some other form, okay? So our age got completed there and we came to this birth. Now, when our age will get completed, we'll leave this body, we'll leave this body and we will go to some other, we'll take up some other body, Which body we will take up, that depends on the karmas that we bind, okay? So, this relationship with our body, okay, keep on changing body from time to time, has been going on since time immortal. And Tirthankar is the one who is teaching us the right path to liberation. He himself has got liberation, and we follow the path shown by them, by way of the scriptures, if we study it properly and we understand the procedure, then we will also get liberated. So the first main characteristic of a Tirthankar is one who preaches the right path to liberation. One who preaches you engineering? No. One who preaches you to be a doctor? No. One who preaches you to be a chartered accountant? No. One who preaches you the right path to liberation. Now, can you imagine what kind of education we are getting right now? We will be liberated. Taking birth and death, this we are doing since time immortal. There is no beginning to this. But now, this cycle of birth and death will come to an end and we will get liberated. Liberated means, whatever qualities, infinite attributes that we are having, that will get manifested in the modification. So we will be experiencing complete happiness. And when you are experiencing complete happiness, you don't feel the need of doing anything else. Now we are now studying this. Why? Because we want to be happy. And this scriptures shows us the path that you have a quality of happiness in yourself. You have a quality, you have this quality, but how to unlock that treasure, how to unlock that wealth, you need the key to that, and that key is the correct understanding. Okay, so this Tirthankar is the one who preaches us the right path to liberation. Okay, that is the biggest, you can say, that is the biggest obligation that Tirthankar does on us, is that it preaches us the right path to liberation. So by following that right path, we will get liberated. Now, what is the second characteristic? Is surrounded by the magnificence of Samosaran, the holy assembly. So, who is a Tirthankar? One who preaches us the path of liberation. Second, who is surrounded by the magnificence of Samosaran and other glories. Okay, this is the second characteristics. What would be the third? And in whom Tirthankar Nam Karma. This is Nam Karma. Okay, the spelling is not correct. NAAM. That would have been a correct spelling, but it is coming out like this only. So we have to correct that spelling. Tirthankar Nam Karma has come to fruition. So we just talked of karma theory few minutes ago. Same karma theory, there are 8 karmas, and out of those 8, one is a Nam Karma. And because of that Nam Karma, there is a subdivision. There are 93 divisions of Nam Karma. Out of the 93 subdivisions, one subdivision is Tirthankar. So this is a special karma that one has bound, and one, if he binds the Tirthankar Nam Karma, it gets into fruition when he attains omniscience knowledge. Okay. So Tirthankar Nam Karma has come to fruition, okay, is called a Tirthankar. So there are 3 distinct characteristics, through which we can identify who is a Tirthankar. So first one is one who preaches the right path to liberation. The second is who is surrounded by Samosaran or the holy assembly. And the third one is the Tirthankar Nam Karma has come to fruition to that soul. Okay. So he is becoming a Tirthankar. So this was who is a Tirthankar. Okay. Now who is a god? So all those who are passionless, okay, vitragi. So here it is written as unattached. Okay. In the textbook, the word used is unattached, but the correct or a better word would be passionlessness. Okay. So he is not manifesting passions anymore. He has conquered all the passions and he is now passionless. Okay. And who is omniscient? Okay. Omniscient is one who knows all the things of this universe in past, present, and future in one moment, simultaneously in one moment. So this is the power of knowledge, So this, we are also having this quality of knowledge within us. And if we also follow the path shown by Tirthankar, we will also become omniscient one day. Okay. So the gods are unattached and omniscient. Unattached is passionlessness and omniscient is all-knowing, all-knowing. Okay. So this is God. And who is Tirthankar? So Tirthankar is of course unattached and omniscient, but he is having another special quality called the divine sound, that comes out of it, the Divya Dhvani. Okay. So the third quality that Tirthankar is having, apart from the two that all the gods have, is the Hitopdeshi. Hitopdeshi is a Hindi word. In English, it is said that he gives sermons, sermons that is beneficial to the people at large. Okay. So that quality makes it quite unique to a Tirthankar. Okay. So the gods are those who have manifested passionlessness and omniscient. But Tirthankar is one who has manifested passionlessness, omniscient, and the sermons that he preaches. Okay. Hitopdeshi, which is beneficial to the people at large. So this particular quality differentiates between a god and a Tirthankar. There are other differences also that we are coming on to. So this is what we wanted to know. Now you know the definition of God, you know the definition of Tirthankar, you know that there are 24 Tirthankars only during one whole cycle of cosmology. You'll learn this in cosmology, how many, there are 6 eras, and in the 4th eras there are always 24 Tirthankars. This is all we are talking about Bharat Kshetra. Bharat Kshetra is the place that we are presently residing. It is not India. It is the whole universe, whole earth, The whole earth is only a small part of the Bharat Kshetra. So now you can imagine how big will be this Bharat Kshetra. Okay. So we are here in Bharat Kshetra right now. Even Mei Chao, she is in Taiwan, but that is also a part of Bharat Kshetra. Very tiny part of Bharat Kshetra. Okay. So there are 24 Tirthankars, but God can be infinite. Okay. God can be infinite, but Tirthankars are only 24 in a particular time cycle. In one time cycle, there are 6 eras. We are into now the 5th era, and the Tirthankars were there in the 4th era. Okay. And in the coming 6th era, there will be no religion, So we are so fortunate to take birth right now in Bharat Kshetra, where we have access to this kind of knowledge and we can attain the right belief right now. Okay. With practice and proper understanding, we can acquire this right belief. That is quite possible. We can also become a monk. Okay. If somebody is a male, he can become a monk. If somebody is a female, she can become a Arjika. The name of the post is called Arjika, or in English we call it as she monk. She monk, okay? So that is equivalent to a monk of male, okay? So monk is a male, but Arjika is a female. So these are the highest levels that we can go right now. Beyond that, we don't have that capacity or the ability to go right now. But from here, we can take a birth somewhere else where there is already a Tirthankar. And we can go there and listen to the sermons, and we can attend Samyak Darshan, and then we can become a monk, and then we can get liberated also. So it could be as close as that in the next birth you can get liberated. And it could take maybe 3, 4, 5, 10, 15 births. Maximum is 15 births. If you attend right belief right now, the maximum is 15 births you have to take. And in terms of duration, it is called Ad Pudgal Paravartan. Now, this is a unit of time. It's a very huge time. I'll not be able to explain you right now, but this is the maximum duration. And in terms of birth, it can be maximum 15 birth. So you see how lucky we are that by learning this knowledge, we can get liberated easily. Okay, now we'll coming to the last question. What is the difference between a Tirthankar and a god? So there are around 9 differences. Okay, the first one is all gods are passionlessness and omniscient. Okay, so first we will talk of God and then Tirthankar. But all Tirthankars are passionlessness, omniscient, and one more quality, that is hitopdeshi. Okay, hitopdeshi means they are sermons. They are the producer or the creator of that sermons, updesh. Okay, and that is beneficial to all human beings at large. So this is the first difference, that Tirthankar is in having an extra quality apart from what the god has. The second is Sabhi Bhagwan, all the gods are not Tirthankar, but all Tirthankars are God. Okay, so first you become a god, and then because of that special karma, Nam karma, Tirthankar Nam karma, which has come into fruition, and for that very same reason, one becomes a Tirthankar. So this is the second difference. The third one is Sabhi Bhagwan, all the gods does not preach. Okay, but all Tirthankars preach. That makes them a bit different from ordinary gods. The fourth one, the gods can be infinite, but Tirthankars are only 24. The fifth point, the Tirthankars have a festival called Panch Kalyanak. Okay, a special festival by which they become a Tirthankar, in that birth. So they have this Panch Kalyanak, 5 Kalyanaks, okay, 5 festivals. But ordinary God does not have that kind of festivals. The 6th point, the Tirthankars have a Samosaran and other glories. The ordinary gods does not have that glories. 7th one is Tirthankar Nam Karm Ke. The fruition of Tirthankar Nam Karms has is there. The fruition of Tirthankar Nam Karma is there for a Tirthankar, but it is not the same for the god. Then there are some what you call चिन्ह को क्या कहते हैं, signs, okay, by which you can identify that this is this Tirthankar. Now, because when you go to a temple and see the statues of Tirthankars, these are all same looking, you cannot make out that this is Bhagwan Rishabdev and this is Mahavir Swami and this is Parasnath. No, you cannot make out the difference from their faces, because all are the same. But there is a sign which has been engrossed at the bottom of that statue, and from that sign you can make out that this is Rishabdev. Okay, if there is a ox in that sign, then you can make out that this is Rishabdev, and if it's a lion, then it is Mahavir Swami. So this chart shows what emblem each Tirthankar had, and through that emblem you can make out that which Tirthankar is this one. Okay, so this is chart in English, and I have also shared the Hindi chart. You can refer. So that was the 8th difference, and the last one is that in all the mandirjis we have Tirthankar's murti and not of God. Okay, so God is never worshipped, but Tirthankars are only worshipped, and these are the differences between a god and a Tirthankar. Okay, so now we come to the last question. What is good of knowing this? What are the benefits of knowing this? The first and the foremost benefit is that we can ourselves attain godhood. Why we are knowing all this is because we are also going in the footsteps of this Tirthankar. Okay, we are also treading on the path of liberation that has been shown by the Tirthankar, and we can also attain godhood. The self-belief, the confidence, that is very important for us to take us to this path of liberation. So we can attain godhood by understanding their teachings and practicing them. So you have to understand, and for understand, this is the Parmagam Honors course that we have joined, and we will be practicing in this in every class. Almost every class you will learn some new things, some new tricks, and so in this way we follow the path shown by the Tirthankars. They were also like us, ordinary people, with ordinary qualities, and then somehow they got connected to this kind of teachings, and they understood the path, they contemplated on it, they make the decisions, they made those decisions, and they attained the path of liberation, and they followed that path, and in the end they got liberated. So that will be the same story for us also. Okay, we are also in the same stage where they started off, and we are also starting our path, and as we move ahead, the new things will come into our understanding automatically, okay? And we will be understanding those concepts, and the contemplation and the decisions, all this will enable us to, extract the happiness that is within us, but we don't know how to extract it. Because of ignorance, we don't know the right way to extract it. So this scriptures will teach us the right way, and we can also experience pure soul and the qualities therein. So this was about Tirthankar and Bhagwan. Now we come to the next Dev Darshan, a very small chapter, and this is about the steps when you go to a temple for adoration, for seeing the pratima, what are the steps that you should follow when you go to a mandir. So these are for the kids, so we teach them, and from childhood only we develop a habit, to carry the kids to the temple as and when possible, and that's that sanskar, helps them to get ahead in the path of liberation when they grow up. They are ready to accept things, because they have got this thing right from their childhood. They know the gods, that the gods are, are the ones from where we are getting this knowledge. So that is very important. So the first thing that we should do as a householder is Dev Darshan. Okay, Dev Darshan means going to the temple and doing prayers to the God, as see the God, do the prayers to the God, and also learn a few things from them. Okay, so that makes our visit to the temple very fruitful and motivating. Okay, so this is again a small chapter between a conversation between two friends, Dinesh and Jinesh, and I would like Labdi Vora to read this chapter from the screen, or if you have the book with you, or you have the PDF with you, you can just read out. Yeah.
Hello.
So can you read it? I think there is some background noise coming.
Yeah.
So yeah. Acha, okay. Okay. So some other day.
Yes.
Okay. This is Madhu Jain, I suppose. M Jain. Do you want to try?
This is Malti Jain. Yeah, but the screen is, yeah, now I can.
Yeah.
So this is about Dev Darshan. So this is what we need to do every day. Dinesh, a student, who says, where are you going to? Jinesh, to the holy temple. Dinesh, what for? Jinesh, to have darshan of the Jinendra Bhagwan. Dinesh, well, I'll also come with you. Jinesh, that's fine. First, put off this leather belt. One should not carry things made of leather inside the temple. Dinesh, well, I should just put it off. Both reach the temple. Jinesh, oh brother, where are you going? Please put off your shoes here. Shoes, chappals are not taken inside the temple. It seems you have not visited a temple before and are not acquainted with the method of darshan. Yes, I do not know the correct method of darshan, please let me know it. Jinesh, first of all, we should take off our shoes and champals and wash our hands and feet at the gate of the temple where water is kept for this purpose. Then we should enter the temple proclaiming victory to God and uttering the word Nissahi, Nissahi, Nissahi 3 times. What is the meaning of Nissahi? Nissahi means giving up all kinds of worldly affairs. The meaning is that we should enter a temple after giving up all the desires and anxieties of the world. Dinesh, then what? Standing before the altar of God and chanting Om, Jai, Jai, Namostu, 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 Namoryantanam, Chattari Mangalam, etc. One should bow down before the God. Then going round the altar 3 times, one should say his prayers. Then again bowing before the God and thanking Namokar Mantra 9 and chanting Namokar Mantra 9 times, one should stand erect and meditate with concentration. Dinesh, well, this is the way one should have darshan of the God with concentration. What more? Jinesh, after that, one should study some religious books at least for half an hour. If religious discourse is going on, one should listen to that. Is that all? Jinesh, not that one should ponder over the matter read or heard in the discourse. One should also ponder over questions like, who am I? Who is God? How can I attain godhood? Etc. What is the good of all this? Jinesh, this brings peace to the soul and purifies our thoughts. We talk about our soul in the temple. If we understand our soul and dive deep into it, we can ourselves attain godhood.
So there are few steps that you can see. The first one is to take out shoes and chappals, okay? And in not only shoes and chappals, there are some other things like silk sarees and, some other kind of dresses, we should not have this kind of dresses in the temple. So this is the first thing and first step. Second step is when we enter the temple,
Wash our feet. Wash
we
our
should-
feet and hands.
wash our feet also, right? So taking out chappals and washing the feet, and then we should enter the temple proclaiming victory to God. Jai ho, Jai ho, Jai ho. And uttering the word Ni Sahi, Ni Sahi, Ni Sahi 3 times. Why this 3 times, because there is a mind, speech and body. Man, Vachan, Kai. So these are 3 and there is, so because of these 3, we say it 3 times. Then there is another logic that the jewels, there are 3 jewels, Samyak Darshan, Samyak Gyan and Samyak Charitra. These 3 forms the path of liberation, and since we are also having this goal of attaining liberation, so these 3 words also indicate that also. But the actual meaning of Nissahi word is giving up all kinds of worldly affairs. Now, giving up worldly affairs, you are not involved there, but your mind is involved, okay? So by way of mind, many kinds of thoughts runs in our mind, So what we can do is we can just simply put a full stop to those thoughts, supposing if you are a businessman, you will have some thoughts of business that this has to be done and this has to be followed up, this and that. These things always come up in our mind. You know why? Because we are spending around 12 hours in that. Now, if somebody is a student, he will remember those things of studies that will come into his mind. So, since we are mostly a householder, and a householder has this responsibility to go to the temple first thing in the morning. Why? Because his thoughts are involved in this kind of activities, his mind is engaged in this kind of thoughts. So to avoid those, we go to the temple. And the first thing that we do, we go to the temple and we remember that, by looking at the God's statue, we can make out that God is just observing his own soul, okay? He can, of course, see the whole universe at a glance, but he is not focused in that. He is focused on his self. And that is the inspiration we draw from there, that we should also concentrate on ourselves. Okay. So this is the first inspiration that we get. And if we get a very good inspiration in the morning itself, then our whole days, those thoughts keep on coming back to us again and again. And we may connect sometime during the day also. But this keeps our continuity going on. And of course, in between, you may have some other responsibilities like preparing food, taking care of the kids, going to office, business, job, profession, whatever you are involved in it, So all these kind of activities are there for a householder. So the going to the mandir is also a responsibility of a householder. So then we enter the temple, proclaiming to God. The fourth point is uttering the word Nisahi 3 times. The meaning of that word Nisai is that when you enter a temple, you should give up all kinds of desires and anxieties of the world that we discussed just now. The fifth point, standing before the altar of God and chanting Om Jai Jai, Namostu, 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 Namo Aryantaram, the Namokar mantra that we studied as a first chapter, and the Chattari Mangalam prayer that we studied as a second chapter. One should bow down before the God. Okay, by uttering these prayers, one should bow down before the God. The next step is going around the altar 3 times. One should say his prayers. The seventh point is then again bowing before the God and chanting Namokar mantra 9 times. One should stand erect and meditate with concentration. So this is number 7 and 8. Now the 9th one. One should study some religious book at least for half an hour or whatever time permitting, okay, in the temple. Because temple have a very good conducive environment, for this kind of religious studies. So automatically you feel motivated to study this. And when you study, you of course understand those whatever you have studied. And when you understand, you contemplate, and when you contemplate, the decision making follows. And when the decision making follows, your knowledge gets upgraded by that knowledge. Okay. And when it gets upgraded, of course, whenever a problem arises, it can do the solution. So one should study for half an hour at least. If there is a discourse going on, you should listen to the discourse, and you should also contemplate, who am I, who is God, how can I attain Godhood. So these were the 10 steps, when you go to a temple. There can be some deviation here and there, but more or less it is the same. And that is what we teach to the kids. Now coming to the last question, what is good of all this? So in every chapter you see, in the end, we come to a conclusion that what are the takeaways of this chapter. First part is, this brings peace to the soul. Now the question is to think about that how can it bring peace to the soul? So this is an instrumental cause, okay? So if you go to a temple, your thoughts will follow that God only, okay? And if your thought follows about the God and the things that you have read and the other principles that you have studied, that thought will reduce the passions in the soul. So the passions become very mild, and just because the passions becomes mild, you feel to be at peace. So it is said that this brings peace to the soul. Second, it purifies our thoughts. Purifies our thoughts means that it takes away the inauspicious thoughts and involved you in the auspicious thoughts. Okay, so this transformation happens when you go to a temple. Automatically you follow. As we go to see a movie, and so while watching the movie, most of the thoughts are revolving around the plot that is undergoing in that story, particular story. Okay. Similarly, when we go to a temple, our thoughts also revolve around gods and other principles that the God has taught us. We talk about our soul in the temple. It purifies our thoughts, and we talk about the soul in the temple. The third point is, if we understand our soul and dive deep into it, we can ourselves attain Godhood. So again, here the motivation is to dive deep into it. So how we can dive deep into this understanding of the soul or the scriptures, you know, how we can dive deep? By studying again and again, by contemplating, and by meditating. Okay. In this way, we can dive deep into our soul, and if we dive deep and meditate, we can attain Godhood. Okay. So the potential was there to become God, and that potential has now manifested, and you become a God. So this is very important for us, because we have set our goal as to become God. You know, we don't want to settle anything less than that, because simply God means complete happiness, and we want complete happiness. We are not satisfied with what is going on, the toxic emotions. Okay, those are real dragger for us. They bind inauspicious karmas, and we are also not satisfied with the thoughts, you know, on auspicious thoughts also. So we want to get rid of both kinds of thoughts and meditate on the self, and by meditating we can attain Godhood. So this was the final takeaway from this chapter. Now we'll move on to the next chapter, the living.
Sir, I have
Yeah.
a question.
Yeah.
In the last days written, what rituals should we observe in a temple? So the rituals we need to perform, or rituals we should observe, like what is the difference between them?
So these are the steps that I just now enumerated, you know.
Yeah.
So all those 10 steps are the rituals. This is a part
Yes.
of ritual. And then there are some other things also, like, you know, some of them do chant malas also. Then some other people do stutis, you know, different kind of prayers. Then some only meditate. So there are different people having different kinds of habits and different kind of tastes and different kind of choices. But this is a standard procedure what we teach to a kid. At least this much you can do initially when you go to a temple, and then you can do other things also. So this is just a routine.
Just one question from my end.
Mhm.
So while doing the 3 chakra or the parikrama,
Mhm.
which prayer do you suggest? That we should-
Any prayer, whatever you remember at that point of time, or even if you don't want to do any prayer, you can still contemplate on. Okay, so while walking you can always contemplate. So depends where your thoughts will go, you know, because this something comes automatically. Even when we go to a temple, you may remember something from the kitchen that, oh, I forgot to, you know, soak those pulses, something like that. And if a businessman goes to a temple, he might remember that iska to payment liya hi nahi. You know, there is no occasion now to think on those lines, but those thoughts comes automatically. So while we really try to concentrate on the prayers that we are reciting, but sometimes the thoughts can always come, some other thoughts regarding our business or household, anything like that. So that independence is also there, and buddhi purvak also we try to do prayers and contemplate.
Sir, why there is a bell in the temple? What is the significance of it?
So that bell is there in the temple. The mostly it signifies that that you say to the God that I have come here to pay respect to you. You know, by that bell, you just want to inform or pray to the God that you have come here for praying to you. So that's again a ritual. Someone was talking of ritual just now. So this is again a ritual that some people do ring the bell, some doesn't do. And it is only in the morning that you go to the temple and do that thing. It is not that even if you go to 11 o'clock, you ring the bell, because at that point of time, others are also busy in some studies or someone is meditating. So then they might get disturbed, you know, so that their concentration might break also with the sound of the bell. So ideally, we have a common time for Abhishek, we have a common time for puja, we have common time for Siddhi Pravachan, we have a common time for the religious discourse if there is a scholar available, you know. These are some of the things that we do commonly. Now, after that time, maybe say after 10 o'clock, there is nobody in the temple. So at that point of time, some people do come at that point of time and then they meditate, you know, then they read also the scriptures, whatever they feel like. So then there is no disturbance. After 10 o'clock, there is no disturbance in the temple. But from 7:30 in the morning to 10, there are some activities which are commonly going on. So those people who want to do Abhishek, they reach the temple before 7:30 and, you know, they change their dress to a dhoti and dupatta and then they do that Abhishek. So different people
What is
having
the significance of Abhishek?
like, we want to remove all the attachments and aversions from our soul, you know, the toxic emotions that we want to remove. So when we do Abhishek, the first part is that the altar gets cleaned up, okay? Otherwise, you know, in temples, there are always some dust coming here and there. So the altar gets cleaned up. So that is the first part. And the second part is it acts as a reflection for us that by just washing off the pratima, we are removing the dirts. Similarly, by practicing discriminative knowledge, we can remove the feelings or the toxic emotions that gets manifested in our soul. So one is from the conventional point of view, the other is from the real point of view. And as we wash off that altar, similarly, we want to wash off our toxic emotions. So for every activity that we do in the temple, there will be one significance from the conventional point of view or vyavhar, and there will be something deep called the real point of view, nischay. Okay, so we for everything that we understand, we can put it in two ways, one from the real point of view and one from the conventional point of view. Usually all these activities are mostly from the conventional point of view, because from the real point of view, you concentrate, meditate. Okay, so that is what is required in the path of liberation. That is how you advance in the spiritual stages. So meditation is the ultimate activity in the path of liberation. Before that, all other kinds are a part of rituals only, a type of ritual.
Sir, I have two
There is some,
questions.
Go ahead.
Okay, sorry, I think someone was asking something.
there is significance of the Gandodak also. That also
Gandodak,
has
so the ladies cannot, usually the ladies don't touch the pratima, okay? So they don't do abhishek. Ladies don't allow, we don't allow the ladies people to do abhishek because there are a lot of impurities involved with ladies, okay? So, and that is the reason why the attainment of liberation cannot be done in a female paryay, okay? Why only the males go to moksha? That is again one of the reason that the ladies have certain impurities, which is not their fault, of course. This is because of the karma theory. Why we get a male birth, why we get a female birth. All these are karma theories into fruitation, okay? So because of that, we have got someone has got a male birth, someone has got a female birth, someone are in between also, the eunuchs, napunsak. So that is the third part. So this kind of things are there. So that's why the females are not allowed. So the Gandodak, yeah, we were talking about Gandodak. So the females are not allowed to touch the Pratima and they are not allowed for Abhishek. So what we do is the water with which we have done the Abhishek of Bhagwan, that water we keep in a separate tray, and all others who are coming to the temple, they can just put that water on their forehead, and that way they also get connected, and that is again a ritual. So we do follow some rituals in the temple, and that makes our visit more engaging, otherwise there will be no motivation. There would be no motivation to go to the temple. So usually all those people who visit the temple, they do this, take this Gandodak and put it on their head. And that is also one of the instrumental causes in getting purification. ऐसे बोलते हैं ना कि हमारा पाप धो दिया. गंगा में क्यों नहाते हैं? Why we do go to the Ganga river? बोलते हैं सब हमारा पाप धुल जाता है, So these are the kind of stories associated with it. But at the end of the day, it's a ritual. So there are some rituals in the path of liberations, and that we should follow. So now you can ask Parth.
Yes, sir. So I had two questions. The first question is Swadhyay have more weightage or equally important as the rituals? Or is rituals more important, or going to the temple is more important than Swadhyay? And second thing is, can the things of whatever we just spoke about, can it be done only in a temple, or we can do it in any place which has a murti, or we can do the same thing at home as well?
So one thing that we follow is good, better, best. Okay. So going to the temple is best. But because of your karma, you are in such a place now, there is no temple. So what you do? So there are alternates. You keep the scripture at a very high place in your home, and you can do puja of scriptures also. Dev, Shastra and Guru. these have equal weightage, you know. So if you don't have access to Dev or a temple, then you can do scriptures. You can pray to scriptures. So this is the alternative. Now, the first part of the question, that what it was about the rituals.
Swadhyay has equal or more weightage than the
Right.
rituals.
So this rituals, all the rituals that we discussed just now, okay, this involves our mind, speech, and body. Okay, mind is our thoughts is following that time, right? On our thoughts are involved in those rituals. The second part is we do prayers from mouth only, so speech is also involved in that, and the body is also involved because we are standing in front of the altar of God. Okay, so all these three are a part of the ritual. But when we do swadhyay, right? During swadhyay, there is no activity of the body. There is no activity of the speech because you are reading yourself. Okay, supposing if you are reading yourself or if you are listening to a lecture, in both the case, speech is not functioning and your body is also not functioning. So two things has gone off. Now the mind, you know. So now the mind. So in mind, you have thoughts. Okay. And with this swadhyay is influencing our belief system directly. Okay. So we need both in proportion. So going to the temple is also required and swadhyay is also required. These are not two alternatives to each other, you know. 1 second. Okay, thank you. So it is not that one is a replacement for the other. So okay, it is that both complement each other. Okay, so ideally the first thing that we should do is Dev Puja, or that visit to the temple, and then subsequently we can do Swadhyay there also if it is available there, or supposing if you are going at a 10 o'clock in the mandir, okay, 10 o'clock, there is nobody in the mandir at that time. There are of course few people who are doing darshan, there are few people who are doing puja separately, there are few people who are doing studies, swadhyay. Okay, so at that point of time, you can do the Dev Darshan there and you can come home and do the Swadhyay, or you can do the Darshan and then the Swadhyay. So there is no fixed rule as such, you know. Ideally, there are some rules that we already discussed just now, steps in a Dev Darshan, you know. So it is there, but both have got equal importance. If you ignore the mandir part, you know, so you may gain something very good in knowledge because of Swadhyay. Okay, your belief system and is all very good, but without that going to the mandir, your Vishuddhata will not increase. What is this Vishuddhata? You know, it's a special kind of purity. It's of course an auspicious activity. Okay, it is of course an auspicious manifestation, but that auspicious manifestation is of special quality, you know, that is in future going, when it comes to fruition, it will bring you those kind of situations and those kind of material that you go ahead in the path of liberation. So, you know, there is something called patrata, you know. Now, if you say that I want to go to the temple, and if you wear jeans or a Bermuda and go to the temple, and you see your feeling, okay, and then you go wear a white, what you call it, pajama and jabba, you know, you wear that and you go to the temple. Now you see the feelings, you yourself feel able to realize that what are the changes in your thought process. what are the changes in your peace, what are the changes in terms of your passions. So you can make out everything. So this is something that is to be realized. This is not that something that I can explain you through words. Okay. So there is something always for experience. Now, if I say sugar is sweet, how much you are impacted? Not very much. But if I give you a sweet in your hand and you put that sweet in your mouth and you get a taste, then it of course makes a difference. So we do something at the body mind level, body, speech and mind. Okay. So there is something activity going on at a body, speech and mind level, and then there is something going on at the soul level. So both are going simultaneously. New thoughts coming up, every now and then. It's reflecting on your knowledge. So that is one activity of the soul. And the body, mind and speech activity is basically of Pudgal, matter. It is the activity of the matter. It is the modification of the matter. So our body is just like a robot. As a robot, we train that robot. We put in some software and that robot functions in a particular manner. Similarly, our body is a robot. It is doing its activity independently. The soul is only an observer. It is not a doer of any of the activity of the body or the mind or the speech. But both are happening simultaneously. So we feel that I had gone to the temple. We feel that I have done the prayer. We feel that this, just because our belief system says that I am a body. So all activities of bodies are mine. Simple. But there is a knowledge called discriminative knowledge. If you practice that and if you understand that, then you can realize that when you go to the temple, what is the soul doing there? Because this soul is right now inside this body. Okay. So if the body moves to the temple, the soul automatically goes to the temple. Okay. Now, what is the soul doing there? And what was the soul doing here? Can anyone answer? Urja, you can try. I think you are following it properly. I can make out from the faces. So that's why we always insist on keeping videos on. There are two purposes. One is the face reading that we can do. The other is your attention will be more if you keep on the screen on. Otherwise, बीच में कुछ phone आ गया या बीच में कुछ disturbance आ गया. So you easily get disturbed. And then you may not understand the thing as if you are paying good attention. So Urja, you tell me. Oh, you are not able to unmute yourself? I will try if I can, I also cannot do. Okay, so anyways, what was the question that I asked to Urja? Can anyone recall? Unmute yourself, Parth.
You asked about the soul.
Difference, Bhed
Yes.
Vigyan, discriminative knowledge. So if one who is practicing differential knowledge, or that can realize that what soul was doing there in the temple, you can also make out. So while you go to the temple, the soul is just an observer. He is not a doer. You may feel that I am only going to the temple, I am driving, I am only uttering the prayers, You may feel that way, but actually The soul as a soul, your primary function is to just know. Know and see. Janna, dekhna. Gyata, drashta. Okay. So the drashta quality makes you to see, observe, and gyata helps you in knowing. Okay. So knowledge and perception, these are the two qualities of a soul, and these are the primary qualities, basic qualities. These are the qualities through which we identify a soul. Okay. So any existence which has this quality of knowing is the soul, my knowing. Okay. So similarly, there are other souls in this universe who are doing their own functions. They are also an observer. I am also an observer. They are also not doer of their mind, speech, and body activities, and I am also not a doer of mind, speech, and body activities. Okay. So who knows this knowledge? Who knows about this knowledge? Only those people who have access to this kind of books. Okay. Those who have studied these books, those who have listened to these books, all other people feel that they are the body. They don't know the discrimination between body and soul. So this was the story with us also when we are not aware of these things. And now since we have acquired this knowledge, so we know there are two different things. One thing is soul, the other is the body. So there is an activity of body going on simultaneously, and there is an activity of soul going on simultaneously. So the soul has only one activity, and that is he is just a knower. The knowledge keeps on changing. Now you are listening to this word, okay? Now you are seeing this, your eyes is seeing the hand. I've raised the hand. So your knowledge keeps on moving, you know. On your knowledge screen, different objects keep on coming automatically, okay? Now you are sleeping, okay? So while sleeping, you have a dream, and in the dream you can see yourself doing certain activities, and then you get anxiety also. Ab kya hoga, ab kya hoga? And suddenly you wake up, and the moment you wake up, the dream goes away and you realize that there is nothing has happened. I'm totally safe. So just as in dream, okay, you are an observer. Similarly, whatever activities is going on right now, when you are awake, is the same thing, same story. This is a dream also. That was a dream. This is again a dream, because you are an observer. You are a soul and you are an observer. So you are just observing. In the dream, what you are doing? In the dream, you were observing only, no? Or you were doing actually anything? You were actually not doing anything. You were sleeping only. But in sleeping, your thought process went there. And 1 minute, I'll just interrupt. I'll take a break for 1 minute. I have to open the door. Somebody is there on the door and nobody is at home. 1 minute. Yeah, sorry. So now this activity, there was a ring, doorbell rang, okay? So I went there. So I was just talking to you. Now there is an antray. This is the antray. There is an antray karma. So what is the function of the antray karma? They cause hindrances to you. You know, they stops what you are doing. So I was just doing a lecture now. I was involved in it. There was no plan to go out and open the door, you know, but somehow it happened. Okay. Why it happened? So there you can see now you can make out that there is a karma's rise, antarai karma's rise. So I got a break in the lecture. Okay. You were also listening. You also got a break because you also have antarai karma. So you can now realize that all things are connected. The soul is the enterprise that you run. You are the soul yourself. Even if we are now in this body, inside this body, okay? This body is just like a jail for us, okay? As a criminal is locked in a jail, similarly, we are locked in this body now. We cannot move away from this body right now, okay? Only when our Ayu karma, there is one karma called Ayu karma. It's related to our age. The moment we took birth in this human life, our age was fixed. And, oh, I have crossed the time. Sorry, I'm very sorry. So, the moment I took a birth, my age was fixed. And this much time I will stay here. And then this soul will go away. Okay. So, our question was there, ki Swadhyaya is also important and the activity of mind, body, both are important. Both has its place in the path of liberation. Okay. They are not substitute for one another. They complement one another. And how they complement one another, we will discuss this in next class. Okay. So this is, I'm really very sorry. I didn't realize that our time is over, but I got so much involved with your interest and your queries that I forgot about the time, but next time I'll take care. If you have any questions, quick questions, I can always